Hi everybody, this is Susan Lynn, and today I'm going to be talking about your pets and ghosts. As many of you know, your pets can often see spirits, but one thing that we don't often think about is the fact that your pets can be affected by spirits, by ghosts, by energies that may be in your home. I've had personal experience with this. The dog that you see on that side, the black dog, that's Zoey, and then that's Dasher. Well, Zoey, it turns out, is very sensitive to ghosts. And I found that out the hard way. So it turns out that I had a ghost in my house that I didn't know about. Now, you might ask, how in the world did I not know that a ghost is in my house? Well, I can tell you. I spend a lot of time blocking them. They want to talk to me nonstop. So I basically just ignore them. I put up a block, and then if they don't bother me, I don't bother them. Now, if they start doing things around the house, like bothering my pets, they get my attention. And once they get my attention, I deal with it. So this happened to be a few years ago when I really wasn't trusting everything that was happening to me. I wasn't trusting my abilities. I wasn't trusting my connection to the universe and the source and God and angels. And I just wasn't connected or trusting my connection, let's just say. So what started happening was, out of the blue, my happy-go-lucky dog, every night at 9 p.m., at exactly 9 p.m., she would start panting. And then it would get so bad. She would shake. She would pant so hard that I would think that she was going to hyperventilate. I don't even know if dogs can hyperventilate, but to me it seemed like there's no way she can breathe this fast and still, keep her consciousness, right? And I tried everything. I tried consoling her. I tried laying with her. I tried treats. I tried distracting her. I tried playing with her. I tried taking her for a walk every night at 9 o'clock. But this behavior started, and it would go until midnight every night, 7 days a week, 9 p.m. to midnight. At midnight, it would mysteriously stop, and we would all be able to go to sleep. This went on for literally 5 days before I started inquiring in my newly found metaphysical group, or metaphysical network, I should say, about that I have this problem, and could it be some sort of energy in the house? Of course, the place where I live is very haunted. It's a portal for everything in the universe. And so in the house I lived in, of course, was, in this environment. And so there was always a lot of activity. I mean, always. That's why I think I had to block it so much. But so it made sense. So I started getting advice from different friends. And one person that I talked to tuned into my house and said, "Oh, you have a lady there." Meaning, well, actually what I said was, "There's no one here but me and these dogs, And she said, no, there's a lady there who's not, human. She's not from this plane of existence. And she is upset. And she's upsetting your dog." And as soon as she said those words, I was standing in my kitchen. I'll never forget it. The counter's there, and it's open concept, so I'm looking into the living room. And there she was. There was the woman. And I said, "Oh, she's here, and her name is Shelly." Now, I had to go somewhere. I literally, this was at 7 p.m., so the whole thing hadn't started yet. And I had to go somewhere. So I said, okay, I think now that I know that Shelly's here, I'll talk to her, and I'll see what I can do. And, hopefully I can get her to move on and leave us alone. And my friend said, "Well, she doesn't know she's dead." And I said, "Well, then she's going to have to find out, because she has to go." So I hung up with my friend, and I'm looking at Shelly. And when I say that I'm looking at Shelly, obviously I'm seeing her with some other construct from my mind, right? I'm not seeing her in reality. She didn't appear in front of me as a real person, but I could see her in my mind's eye. And this poor woman, She was thin. I want to say that she's coming from a time that was from the 1980s, roughly. That's when she was killed. She was killed, and she was bloody, and she had stab marks on her. And I said, my gosh, Shelly, you're hurt, but you're in the wrong place. You can get healed, and you can find the peace you're looking for, but you're going to need to cross over. You're going to need to cross over to the other side. This is not the right place for you. Well, she said, you can help me. I just need a ride to the hospital. And I said, well, I am leaving, but I'm not going to the hospital. Now, there was a hospital nearby, but I wasn't going there. And she said, I just need a ride. And I said, well, you can ride with me as far as I'm going in the general direction of the hospital. And then from there, you can find your way there. Thinking, if I can just get her out of the house, then I'm good, right? So sure enough, I get in my truck and Shelly gets in the seat beside me. And we're going down the road, and I'm talking to her, and I'm telling her, I'm trying to convince her, I'm basically trying to do a sales job of why you need to cross over. How much better it would be, how much safer you would be, how you'd be surrounded by your loved ones, how you would be able to move forward and, do the things that you want to do, I was trying everything. I was like, do you like to travel? You could just go anywhere. You can pop over and see Egypt. You can pop over and see the Bahamas. What kind of things do you like to do? Basically, literally selling this. And she's just like, I just need to get care. I just need to get to the hospital. They're going to help me. They're going to, attend to my wounds and heal me. And then I'm going to go back to my family. And I said, I'm pretty sure that some of your family's on the other side and they want to meet you. But anyway, what ended up happening was we got to an intersection where there's a hotel. It's a hotel from the early 1900s. And I know it's haunted beyond belief. And I said, that place is going to be a really interesting place for you. Look how interesting the architecture is. And I'm pretty sure that if you go there, you're going to be able to find a ride to the hospital, which is just 2 miles that direction. Don't ask me why I didn't just drive to the hospital. I don't know why. In retrospect, I should have just, knowing what I know now, I should have just driven to the hospital, pulled up to the ER entrance, opened the door like a crazy person, and waved at her bye like a crazy person, and got back in my truck and drove off, and problem solved. But anyway, she ended up getting out at the hotel, so I was so lucky. And to make a very long story short, and basically a miracle, my dog stopped having these reactions. My dog literally, like night and day, stopped having these reactions. The next night, I'm anxiously waiting for 9 o'clock. I'm watching TV, trying not to be upset or have her sense that I'm anxious in any way. And I got wrapped up in my show. And at 9:15, she's still sleeping in her bed. And at 9:30, she's still sleeping in her bed. And at 10:30, I'm like, I'm going to bed. And she went with me. And from that point on, she never, ever had another, not ever did she have another reaction like that again. So I know that I've had other entities come into my house, whatever. But for whatever reason, Shelly particularly bothered her. And I can tell you another story that's very similar in how these energies really affect everything in your house. So another one of my friends, this was about a year after my experience with Zoey and Shelly, another one of my friends had not been living in her house because she needed a major renovation done. And when she did move back into her house, shortly thereafter, she went on a vacation. She needed a vacation. She went on a 2-week, make that three-week vacation. She had a pet sitter living in the house with the dogs that she had. And when she got back, there was damage in her bedroom. The walls were scratched. The floor was scratched. Her dogs were acting very strange. Like she said, these are not even the same dogs that I left. And they were over 10 years old. So they were older dogs, clearly you know what their personality is. You know how they act. And she said they're acting so bizarrely and I cannot understand what happened. So I asked my pet sitter, and the pet sitter said they started acting weird right after you left, and I don't know what happened. I couldn't control them. They were tearing everything up, and I just decided that at night I would put them in the bedroom with me and close the door. So at night they would be in the room and not unsupervised in the living room. And I guess they were so upset that they were scratching at the floor, scratching at the wall, to the degree that they actually damaged their nails. And so when my friend got home, she contacted me because she knew I had had this experience with Zoey and asked me to check in and see what was going on. Well, as soon as I checked in on her house, I found that there was a guy there named Randy. And Randy really thought he was being very helpful. He had been there during the renovation, and he had opinions about the construction that was being done, and he pointed out some things that my friend knew had been done wrong, but I didn't know because I didn't even have a chance to talk to her. She moved in and went on this vacation. So I didn't know, I didn't have any updates. But Randy told me about some things that were done poorly. And my friend said, yes, indeed, they are. And I've talked to the contractor and he's coming back. I said, well, there's also these other things you're going to want to have checked out because Randy says they also didn't do these other things. And she had those checked out too. It turns out Randy was correct. The problem with Randy, however, was that he wanted to train the dogs while she was gone. He said they were very, he said they were untrained. He said their behavior was terrible and he needed to train them. So energetically, this Randy guy was taking something and messing with their paws, which he thought would make them stop scratching. But in reality, it made them scratch more. It made them more anxious, and it made them want to use their paws more to get whatever was on them off. So that's what the dogs thought. I've got something wrong with my claws, and I want to get it off, and I'm going to get it off by scratching on this thing. Well, Randy's plan backfired, right? Because whatever he was doing to make the dogs behave made the dogs upset. So I finally got Randy out of there. You can cross people over if you can convince them that there's people on the other side that love them, that want to meet with them, that want them back, and that they'll be surrounded by love and light, and that they'll be able to rest. Because here on earth, ghosts are not restful. They are burdened. They're low vibration. They're constantly grousing and feeling sad about the situation that they are in and that they couldn't ever fix, right? Shelley could never fix her wounds, right? She was constantly trying to fix her wounds, but she couldn't fix them because they weren't fixable. Same thing with Randy. Randy needed to move on instead of hanging out in my friend's house. So when I got him to cross over, he actually did cross over. When I got him to cross over, same thing with her dogs. The very next day, they slept. They went back to their usual personalities. They didn't scratch on anything. To this day, their personalities have reverted back to their same old, normal, boring old dog self. They don't scratch at anything. They don't stay up all night. It's bizarre. It's like a switch flips, right? When you get rid of that energy, the dogs, the cats, whatever it is, whatever animal it is that's being affected by this energy can go back and relax, because it's basically like having, a bully in your house, harassing your dogs or your cats or whatever. So now we know that this can happen. We know that our dogs or cats or horses or whatever behavior is affected by spirits and energies that may be in your house or in your barn or wherever. How do you fix that? I mentioned that you can cross them over. I mentioned that you can talk to them and potentially get them to leave. But I have to tell you, they typically don't want to leave. They feel safe. There's a reason they're in your house. They feel safe in your house. They get a little bit of energy from you. So they're kind of a little bit parasitic in that respect, right? They kind of get a little bit of a little drain of energy from you. And that's good. They want to be there. But if they're interrupting your life, if they're causing problems in your house, be it with a person or an animal or whatever, they need to go. So first of all, I want to tell you that as a human, you really have more power than you think you have. It's been proven to me over and over again. I deal with some pretty big spirits, some pretty big yucky energies, and I am able to push them out and repel them. Okay, how do we do this? There are a couple of ways. I'm sure you've heard of sage. Most everybody has heard of sage. You burn sage and it clears your area, right? Sage does have some scientific properties that are good. It actually does kill or remediate some types of viruses and cleans the air. That's all good. So by all means, sage. However, when it comes to energies, ghosts, spirits, those kinds of things, I feel that sage typically doesn't really work. It just doesn't work like we think it does. What we're dealing with here is a vibration. We're dealing with an energy that has a vibration. So things that work with energies that have a vibration. You have a vibration. So if you send out the vibration that you need to leave this house right now and mean it and puff your energy out, push your energy out, push them out, see them being pushed out of the window, out of the door. See that happening. A lot of what we do in the spiritual world is envisioning. I mean, and frankly, a lot of Olympians envision winning the race. They envision going through the course in their brain because that helps connect with that energy. And it's been proven that it makes them more successful when they envision the success of the race. It's the same thing with metaphysics. You're going to envision this ghost or this entity being pushed out. The other thing is we always want to do this. This is like something that you should do as often as you possibly can. If you can do it every day, great. If you can do it every week, great. That is a white light protection. You can Google white light protection. You can get, there's probably 100 different, maybe 1,000 different white light protection, versions out there. But the one that I'm going to tell you right now is pretty simple. So you're basically going to connect to source, to God, to whoever your higher source is. You're going to connect to that energy. Okay? We're going to send a column of light straight up to that energy. And in that tube, that column of light, we're going to imagine it coming straight out of our head and it goes straight up into the sky and it goes all the way up. And as you're going up, you're seeing that it's not interrupted by anything, right? It's passing whatever you see, trees, stars, planets, whatever. It's passing them. Nothing is interfering with it, right? You're going straight up. Then you're connected. And then you feel the white or the golden light come down from the heavens into your tube. Your tube comes, the light comes into your head and you feel it, the light just coming in, washing over you. You feel it just going through your whole body. You feel it touching all of your cells, your bones, your heart, your organs. It's touching everything, and everything it touches is filled with love. Love and light. That love and light comes all the way through your body. It goes out through your fingertips. It goes out through your toes. It goes into the ground. It roots you into Mother Earth, into Gaia, and that protects you. So now you're connected completely to Mother Earth, Gaia. Your feet are on the ground, and the light is going down into the earth, and it's also going straight up into the heavens. Okay. You are literally a pillar of light, of love and light. As I mentioned, that light's coming out, and it's emanating from your body through your fingertips, just out of your skin. That love and light, you see it filling your entire room, the room that you're in. This room right here, it fills the entire room with love and light. Think of blowing up a balloon. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Then it fills up your whole house. And let it be effortless. Don't push it. Let it grow. It's just growing and it's filling up your whole house, love and light. And it's in all the nooks and crannies. It's under the bed. It's in the attic. It's in the garage. It's under the kitchen cabinets. It's where the hot water heater is. It's everywhere. It's in every nook and cranny. And I'm going to tell you, whatever is in your house is going to feel love and light. Even if it's a roach. Even if it's a fly. Even if it's, there's a rat or a raccoon or a squirrel in your attic. Whatever it is, it's going to feel this love and this light. As this love and light fills your house, it moves out. It's just because it's growing naturally. You don't have to do anything. It's just like growing of its own accord. And it goes into your neighborhood, and it touches all your neighbors with love and light. It touches your whole city, your state, the United States, or the country that you live in, the continent, and in the world. The whole world gets love and light from you. Now, when that happens, you have just raised your personal vibration, which is awesome. It's a protective measure, but it also makes you feel good. And when you feel good and you're protected, you're just going to bring good things to you. You've just connected to the best possible thing ever in the universe, and you've personally connected with it. And so that blessing is now upon you, and you've been gracious enough to spread that blessing all throughout your house and your community and the world we live in. So what does that do for ghosts and spirits? Ghosts and spirits have a very low vibration. As I mentioned, they operate on a much lower vibration than even humans do. Most humans do. So they don't like a high vibration area. They don't typically stick around houses that have a lot of laughter and a lot of fun and dancing and woo, and just a happy, high vibration. They typically don't stick around there. Now, if any happy house, of course, goes through some hard times, and when you go through those hard times, your vibration goes down. Some of the members of your family vibration goes down, brings the vibration down of your house. And then that's when they can come in, the spirits and ghosts can come in, and that's when they can feel more at home. So by having this white light and doing this on a regular basis, you're basically just cleansing your house over and over again. And after a while, sometimes it only takes one. If you really put a lot of energy into it, you can do it in one day, or one session, which could be one day. But sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes longer. It just depends, but it really does work. And I find that it's really the best way to get rid of these things. And where am I? I don't know what my time is here. 22. I've already run too long. I suggest you try that. I think it'll help fix any problems that you have with spirits and ghosts. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to know when I have a new video out, hit the subscribe button. I would really love that you share it with your friends and family, especially if they have pets or if they've had behavior problems with their pets. You never know, this might be part of the problem. And I wish you guys all the best. And until next time, have a blessed day.